Hey, welcome to Manila Updates TV. Please, subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. The headlines scream, "Billion-dollar flood scandal drowns hope." Each page tells a story of betrayal, of promises broken and futures stolen. The city wakes to a new day, but the shadow of corruption looms, larger than ever. In Manila, thousands flood the streets, not in celebration, but in outrage. The city's heart beats with anger, echoing through every avenue and alleyway. Faces in the crowd are marked by grief and fury, holding signs of betrayal. Their eyes tell stories of loss, of families torn apart by disaster and neglect. Chants for justice echo off the palace walls, a demand for answers that grows louder with every passing hour. The people's voices rise above the storm, refusing to be drowned out. This disaster wasn't just nature's doing, it was fueled by human greed. Corruption turned rainfall into ruin, and negligence into tragedy. Rain pours, but the protesters stand firm, united by loss. Soaked to the bone, they refuse to be washed away, their determination as relentless as the downpour. Students, farmers, workers, all shoulder to shoulder, sharing the pain of homes and lives washed away. Their unity is a testament to the shared suffering that binds them together. The government promised safety. Instead, people feel condemned by corruption. Trust has been shattered, replaced by a deep sense of betrayal. The nation is at a breaking point. Tension crackles in the air, as if the city itself is holding its breath, waiting for change. Every shout, every tear is a call for accountability. The pain is raw, the anger real, each voice demanding to be heard. These aren't just statistics, these are shattered lives. Families huddle in makeshift shelters, clinging to hope amid the wreckage. Today's protest is more than anger, it's a demand for justice from those sworn to protect. The people are united, their message impossible to ignore. Police in riot gear form a barrier, but the crowd's resolve is unshaken. The line between authority and the people has never felt so stark. They believe their future has been stolen, and they're fighting for the right to live without fear. Each step forward is a declaration. They will not be silenced. This is a battle for the soul of the Philippines. The flag waves above the crowd, a symbol of hope and resilience in the face of adversity. The message is clear. The people are watching, and they will not be silent. Their voices, once ignored, now thunder through the city. Manila's rage is a warning. Change must come. The storm may pass, but the people's demand for justice will not fade. The National Flood Resilience Program was meant to protect millions. Instead, over $1 billion vanished. Ghost projects, inflated contracts, shell companies, investigative journalists and whistleblowers exposed the scheme. Fake reports, doctored photos, and empty fields where defenses should stand. High-ranking officials and powerful contractors are implicated. On paper, projects were finished. In reality, nothing but broken promises, substandard materials, incomplete structures, useless against the typhoons. The money built mansions, not seawalls. Whistleblowers risked everything to reveal the truth. The result? Villages submerged, families trapped, lives lost. The scandal isn't just about stolen money, it's about stolen safety and trust. The public's anger is fueled by the cost lives ruined by greed. The Philippines, with its endless coastlines, faces 20 typhoons a year. Flooding is a constant threat. Defenses are a necessity, not a luxury. Flood control protects homes, schools, hospitals, and livelihoods. Without it, every storm risks becoming a national disaster. The memory of past floods, like Typhoon Ketsana, haunts the nation. Billions were allocated to prevent this, meant to be a symbol of hope. Instead, corruption left millions exposed. The scandal is more than theft. It's the destruction of the nation's shield. Officials gambled with lives, dismantling the country's only protection. The anger on the streets is rooted in this betrayal. These floods weren't just natural, they were made worse by human hands. The people know what was lost. Not just money, but their future. In the crowd, every face tells a story of loss. Each person carries a memory, a wound that refuses to heal, and a hope that justice will finally be served. Maria, a grandmother, clutches a photo of her vanished home, her eyes filled with sorrow and resilience. They promised us a seawall. The money was there, but the wall never came. Her words echo the broken promises that haunt so many. When the typhoon hit, everything was swept away. Homes, memories, and the sense of safety that once held these communities together. The devastation was not just natural, but man-made, fueled by greed and neglect. Her story is echoed by thousands. Families huddle together in makeshift shelters, united by shared grief and a longing for answers. Young protesters demand more than answers. They want systemic change. They refuse to accept a future built on corruption and broken systems. Paulo, a student, stands tall and resolute. This isn't just one scandal. It's a rotten system stealing our future. His voice rings out, inspiring others to speak up and join the fight. The crowd chants, "Jail the big fish!" demanding real accountability, not scapegoats. Their voices rise in unison, refusing to be ignored. They want the stolen money returned and used for true protection. They dream of a day when funds meant for safety are not siphoned away, but used to shield their families from future storms. Rico, a fisherman, holds photos of his lost children, his voice trembling with pain. "Their greed killed my babies." His grief is a stark reminder of the human cost of corruption. The protest is a collective mourning not just for lost homes, but for lost lives. Each candle lit is a promise to remember, and a vow to fight for those who can no longer speak. The people fight for justice, for memory, and for a future where no parent suffers this pain. They march, not only for themselves, but for generations yet to come. The demand is clear: arrest the guilty, recover the funds, and rebuild what was lost. They call for leaders who serve, not steal, and for a government that protects its people. This is not just a protest, it's a cry for dignity. It's a movement that insists every Filipino deserves respect, safety, and a voice. The movement is fueled by grief, but driven by hope for real change. In their unity, they find strength, and in their hope, they find purpose. The people refuse to be silent victims. They stand together, unyielding, determined to be heard no matter the cost. They demand justice for every Filipino betrayed. Their voices, once ignored, now thunder through the streets, a call for justice, for change, and for a future where no one is left behind. Under pressure, the president promises a swift investigation and forms a special task force. Some officials are suspended, travel bans issued, but the crowd is unimpressed. "We've heard these promises before," says a protester. "The powerful never go to jail." The response is seen as superficial, scapegoats offered, while the real masterminds remain untouched. Protesters demand real arrests, not committees. Meanwhile, thousands remain in flooded, unsanitary shelters. Aid is slow, justice slower. The government's actions are seen as moral failure, serving the powerful, not the people. The people's trust is worn thin. They will not let this be forgotten. The people want more than arrests. They want systemic reform. Protesters demand radical transparency, real-time tracking of government spending. They call for a truly independent anti-corruption body, free from political interference. Campaign finance reform is needed to break the cycle of politicians indebted to donors. Community-led oversight of projects is essential, locals as watchdogs. "We need a seat at the table," says a community leader. The fight is for a new political culture, one of integrity, not dynasties. This is a movement for citizen power, not passive acceptance. The people are building a more just, resilient Philippines, starting now. The scandal has shattered faith in the system. Filipinos see a justice system that favors the powerful, while ordinary people suffer. Past scandals ended in acquittals or pardons. Justice delayed, justice denied. Hopelessness has set in, but today's protests are a rebellion against that despair. Skepticism runs deep. Can the new task force be trusted? Many believe institutions serve politicians, not the people. This distrust corrodes democracy, fueling apathy and cynicism. But the protest movement is a break from the cycle, an insistence on real change. The people demand a justice system blind to wealth and power. They want a government truly of, by, and for the people. In a devastated barangay, Elena stands on the rubble of her home, her eyes searching for memories among the broken wood and scattered belongings. The air is heavy with loss, but also with the quiet determination of those who refuse to give up. "We were promised a dike, it was our only hope," she says, her voice trembling as she recalls the night the water rose without warning, swallowing everything in its path. The promise was never fulfilled, and the consequences were devastating. In the aftermath, neighbors come together, helping each other clear debris and salvage what little remains. They share food, tools, and comfort, forging bonds that disaster cannot break. In these moments, the true spirit of community shines through. Ben, a local carpenter, works tirelessly to build temporary shelters for his family and others. "The government forgot us. We rely on each other," he says, hammering nails with resolve. His hands are rough, but his heart is open, offering hope to those around him. The psychological toll is immense. Children are left traumatized, their laughter replaced by silence and fear. Even the sound of rain now brings anxiety, a reminder of the night their world changed forever. A volunteer psychologist calls it a mental health crisis. They draw waves washing away their homes, she explains, showing pictures made by the children. The scars left by the flood are not just physical, but emotional, lingering long after the waters recede. The survivors' grief is sharpened by the knowledge that their suffering was preventable. The pain of loss is deepened by broken promises and neglect, fueling a sense of injustice that cannot be ignored. These are not just stories of nature's fury, but of man-made disaster, failures in planning, in leadership, and in compassion. The floodwaters exposed not only the fragility of homes, but also the cracks in the system meant to protect them. Their resilience is not acceptance, it's fuel for the fight for justice. Survivors gather, voices rising in protest, demanding that those responsible be held accountable. They rebuild their lives piece by piece, refusing to be silenced. Community meetings are filled with determination, as families demand answers and action from those in power. Their stories are a promise. They will not rest until the guilty are held to account. Each testimony is a step toward justice, a refusal to let their suffering be forgotten. The community's strength is a testament to hope amid tragedy. In their unity, they find the courage to face each new day, supporting one another through grief and uncertainty. Their loss is a call to action, echoing beyond the ruins of their barangay. They urge the world to listen, to learn, and to act, so that no other community must endure the same fate. They are determined to rebuild, stronger and more united than before. Their resilience is not just survival, it is a declaration that they will shape a safer, more just future for generations to come. The Philippines stands at a crossroads. The government's next steps will define the nation's future. A real, transparent investigation could begin to restore trust, but empty gestures risk deepening anger and instability. The stakes are high: justice or unrest, reform or more disaster. The scandal proves corruption has a human cost: lives lost, futures stolen. As climate threats grow, integrity in disaster response is vital. The people's energy is a force for change, but the fight is just beginning. The world is watching. Will the Philippines break the cycle or repeat it? The people are waiting for justice, and they will not be silent.